So, Wednesday morning, they had a great breakfast. Esther asked the twins to meet her at Carson's warehouse at 3 o'clock. They could take the Escalade, and as she was talking to them, someone knocked on the door. Esther went over and checked the outside camera. It was 6 Chinese men, and she had expected them. She opened the door. She spoke Chinese to them. They followed her into the middle bedroom, and they brought in 3 very large, 3-inch thick mats, assembled them in the bedroom, and Esther tried to give the person in charge a large bill, $100, and he shook his head and said no. And the Chinese men left. Danielle and Tracy, they realized that Esther had placed a very thick mat in the room so that they could practice during the day and not injure themselves. And this was Esther's intent. She told them she wanted them to practice for 4 hours during the day so that they could improve on speed and timing on everything they had learned so far. And Esther pointed out that the mat was probably going to be pretty close to what the mat surface in the professional wrestling road would be. And so with that, the twins were very excited. And again, they thanked her. Esther said that she had to get ready. And Brandy was listening to all this, and she piped up that she'd better get ready too for work. And so Esther took off on the motorcycle. When she arrived at school, John and his 2 buddies were there waiting as usual for her. They went inside, and as had developed over the last couple months, an entire change in the school atmosphere and attitudes. Attendance was 100%, and drug use was close to zero, if not zero. None of the groups were bullying each other around. Everybody was working hard on a good future because they all had an opportunity for a much better life with the new scholarship program. So Esther went to her first class, calculus, and Mr. Grade congratulated everybody, telling them that they had all mastered mathematics up to the level that he is capable of, and he had nothing any longer to teach them. However, he said, because of the school's notoriety now, a lot of professionals have come forward and were willing to come into the school and offer little mini lectures. And he said, I've arranged 5 such lectures in the next 2 weeks. And at that, a young man knocked softly at the door and came on in. His name was, what was it, Anthony? First name was Anthony, I forget. And he was a actuary. Oh, Anthony Good. And he was a actuary for one of the country's largest insurance companies. He's a good speaker, and he spoke about the rewards of being highly trained in mathematics. And all the boys, they seemed rather interested in this. He said that the rewards for being highly trained in math could be well into the well over 100,000. Well over 100,000. That piqued everybody's interest. So the whistle blew. Everybody walked up and thanked them for coming. Esther and all of her girlfriends and sister. They went through the day pretty much as normal. Every class had a test from that point on until 6th hour PE class. Mrs. Grade, or not, Ms. Strong, she welcomed everybody and told them that they had all earned an A. Saturday was going to be the state cross-country event, and she was absolutely certain everybody would do very well. And she suggested today be the last hard day of running, and she had hoped that everybody would agree, and they all did. So she blew her whistle, the girls all took off, and Esther and her sister and friends were in the back of the pack, but they quickly gained on everybody. And 30 minutes into the run, as they were coming back towards the school, Ms. Strong could tell that perhaps they were going to improve their run one more time. Plus, Amy, the only non-Gothic girl, was on their heels, and perhaps Amy could pass some of the Gothic girls. And so Ms. Strong ran down to the finish line to make it official. She stood there and waited, and as they got within a quarter mile, Amy started passing some of the Gothic girls. She passed Helen, Eve, and Esther had yelled out, "Here comes Amy. You better start running real hard." And then Esther dropped back. Amy passed Day, and as they got very close to the finish line, the only person ahead of Amy was Raven, and I believe it was Day, Raven and Day. So Amy came in third, And that was extremely exciting. First time anybody had passed the Gothic girls. So the whole class came up, surrounded Amy, put her on their shoulders, and carried her back into the school. And Esther was extremely excited too, and she grabbed all of her friends and encouraged them to congratulate her. Amy had earned this. So Ms. Strong yelled out how Amy had done fantastic, that everybody had improved. This was their fastest day ever, and that from this point on, they'll be taking it easy and getting ready for the big race on Saturday. She congratulated everybody for having worked so hard, and she knew Saturday would be a great day for the school.